Here we go.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Saturday. We made it to the weekend. Oh, what a week. What a week. Anyway, Jay Slater. As some of you may have seen it, some of you may not have. If you haven't, then go and check this out while I learn how to use my screen again. So Brad's mum sent me disturbing message. Airbnb holds a secret to Jay Slater's case, and here's why. This was the most recent video over at Wax Unfiltered. So if you haven't seen that video after this one, not now, after this one, go and check it out. Because what he's talking about in this video is Brad's mum. She does a post, and it's aimed at people who are tagging her in Wax Unfiltered stuff. And she's basically flipped her shit and said, look, stop tagging me in this. And she goes on a bit of a rant. But it's when people go on a bit of a rant that they kind of resort to, it's that if you're feeling guilty, you have this, I don't know, it's like an automatic response, and that is that you try and defend. You try and defend yourself. You try and defend those around you. And that seems to me what the tone of this message is about. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly word for word what this message says, because you need to go over to Wax's channel, and it's only a short video, about 9 minutes long. And it's going through her thoughts and feelings, but she makes some real interesting statements in there, apart from her barrage of kind of abuse, saying that Wax is kind of sad, he's doing this for clout. Let me tell you now, you don't really do the Jay Slater videos for clout. The revenue that Jay Slater content brings in is about a third of the revenue that you would obtain through, say, Idaho 4 content or Sebastian Rogers or anything like that. Jay Slater content isn't a massive earner, and it's not because the vast majority of the audience are British, and we're tight as a duck's butt. We don't really spend money through the ads, so the revenue generated in British-driven ads, just the money isn't there. So we're not doing this for the money. We're not doing it for the money. We're doing it because the case is close to home. He's a British lad. This is a British case, and the vast proportion of the videos on my channel are US. And then you'll have people that'll turn around and say, "Why do you do videos on US cases? Fuck off back to your own country and do cases there." Then you'll do cases here and be like, "Fuck off! Don't talk about cases over here. Talk about other people's cases." And she's turning around and saying you can't talk about people who are deceased, which is an interesting one, right? So we cannot have an opinion, thoughts, and feelings when somebody loses their life. And that is the problem here, right? That's the problem here, is that the people close to this case, like Brad's mum and Brad and Lucy and even Kasim, the ex-con, what I find quite difficult to fathom is that they seemingly don't think that Jay Slater's death could potentially be odd. When you factor in some of the things that were said by, again, somebody who was close to Ground Zero, the fact that they had stated that Jay Slater was scared, that was something that had come up. And if you look here, if we go to here, I've highlighted it, and this is from Jay's dad. Warren said he couldn't understand why Jay would leave the road. It doesn't make sense. He's either hid himself, but why would he hide himself? Or he's cut off saying what he was going to say. But that's a valid point here, isn't it? The point being, when you consider what Jay Slater must have done, even if you want to believe that Jay Slater fell, he fell. He went into terrain that was dangerous and he fell. I don't believe, and this is becoming repetitive, but it's repetitive because I'm trying to hammer home a point. And that is that I do not believe for 1 second that Jay Slater, if he was completely compos mentis, if he wasn't under the influence of something, if he wasn't being scared of something, if he wasn't running away from something, then I don't believe he would have fallen. There's too many other options. There's too many things that could have saved his life. The lift that was offered to him could have saved his life. The bus could have saved his life. Going in a direction towards, the the community that was close by, that again Wax touches on his video. Everything was within an easier and shorter distance to get him into a position that wouldn't have proven to be fatal. And also the decisions made by those around Jay. Lucy, Wax brings up a valid point that we've consistently brought up, and that is Lucy seems to be a worldly girl. She's gone out, she goes abroad, she goes to these parties, she goes to these events. She's probably a lot more streetwise than what Jay Slater was. They say that girls mature quicker than boys. I believe that that's a fact. So Lucy should have been in a position where she could have easily turned around and said to Jay, I know where you are, mate. I'm going to send a taxi over to you. Stay put. I'm going to come and get you. Even something that simple. So I wonder whether the parents around this, the families around this, the people around this are kind of putting their distance between it because they feel guilty for the failings. And that's best case scenario. We're not now talking about anything done particularly nefarious. We're ignoring the fact that we've got ex-cons and drug traffickers and all this around Jay Slater and potential narcotics. We're just saying that, okay, then, so Jay Slater was let down by those that were with him, and that led to his demise. But you still have to factor in the decisions that Jay Slater made himself, and that's the hard one. That's the difficult situation. But then you've got Brad's mum coming out, and she's almost alluding to the fact that they know things. There is a version of events that she has access to, but you're not getting it. We don't have to tell you. And it's like, well, we should already know everything then. If it is how it is, and we've already been told what happened, then you know nothing more. She turns around and says that she doesn't care, she's not interested, but yet she has an input telling people that they shouldn't be speaking about it. And it's about chasing clout chasing money, and it's discussed and talking about it, this, that, and the other, but you don't care. You don't care. And that's another thing what I just don't understand. I don't understand why nobody around it, the people who were there with Jay, bearing in mind they must have known Jay, that they don't question anything. There is nothing to question. Even they have kind of succumbed to, yeah, he just walked himself off a fucking cliff. And that doesn't sit straight with me. Not when so many people go missing around this place, and there are some nefarious things that have happened previously and people getting beat up. There is a lot of bad feeling towards British tourists in this area. You only have to go onto the likes of TripAdvisor and find where people are being attacked, people are being robbed. And yet these people around this are just, yeah, this is what happened. Don't look here, don't talk about it, don't ask any questions. It's a done deal. That's what don't sit right. What don't sit right with you? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.